Most professionals think business communication is about information, data, slides, spreadsheets. But the leaders who truly influence decisions, they do something different. They tell stories. Because facts explain ideas, but stories help people understand them. Today, we're going to work through a short article about storytelling in leadership. And we'll use the same guided method that we've used before to maximize your insights. A simple way to improve your English while strengthening how you communicate at work. By the end of this lesson, you will see a simple pattern leaders use to turn ideas into stories people actually remember. If we haven't met yet, I'm Derek Zardis from Biz English. I work with executives and entrepreneurs who want to communicate clearly, confidently, and calmly in English. Download and print the article, and let's begin. Step 1, we need to prime your thinking. Before reading anything, think about your own experience at work. At some point, a leader probably told you a story that stayed with you. Maybe it explained a difficult decision. Maybe it helped people understand a change. Stories create meaning. So think about this. What is the most memorable story a leader has told you at work? Here's another question. When do you personally prefer stories instead of data when someone is explaining an idea? This gets you started. Now your brain is listening for the patterns. Step 2, scan the article. Now, quickly scan the article. Don't read every sentence. Just notice the structure, the first line of each paragraph. You will see that the article explains why storytelling works and what makes a strong story. As you scan, notice a few ideas that appear more than once. Influence, structure, authenticity. Those ideas tell you what the article is really about. Now you're ready to read. In a moment, the article will appear on screen and will be read aloud to you. Follow along silently. Here's one thing to listen for. Notice how stories help explain ideas that might otherwise feel abstract or complicated. That is one of the reasons leaders use storytelling. After the reading ends, pause the video and read the article aloud yourself. Yes, out loud. Focus on clarity and pacing, not speed. When you finish, come back.
Storytelling for leaders. How to captivate your audience. In the workplace, leaders are expected to influence decisions, inspire action, and communicate complex ideas clearly. Data and logic are important, but they are rarely enough on their own. What truly captures attention and drives persuasion is storytelling. Leaders who can tell a strong story do more than share information. They create meaning, build connection, and move people to act. Storytelling works because it mirrors how people naturally process information. Facts appeal to the rational mind, but stories engage emotions and imagination. When leaders share a story, they give context to ideas and make abstract concepts concrete. This is especially valuable in presentations, change initiatives, and moments that require buy-in. One essential element of effective storytelling is structure. A clear beginning, middle, and end helps the audience follow the message. Strong business stories often start with a challenge, describe actions taken, and finish with a result or lesson. Without structure, even a good story can feel confusing or unfocused. Another key factor is relevance. A story must connect directly to the audience's priorities. Leaders who tailor stories to their listeners increase engagement and credibility. A story about resilience may resonate with a team facing uncertainty, while a story about innovation may appeal to a group focused on growth. Relevance ensures the story supports the message rather than distracting from it. Authenticity also plays a critical role. Audiences quickly sense when a story feels forced or exaggerated. Effective leaders draw from real experiences, including setbacks and mistakes. This honesty builds trust and makes the message more persuasive. Vulnerability, when used appropriately, strengthens connection rather than weakening authority. Storytelling is also a powerful tool for simplifying complexity. Leaders often deal with strategy, transformation, and long-term vision. Stories help translate these ideas into relatable situations. By using characters, scenarios, and outcomes, leaders make complex ideas easier to understand and remember. Delivery matters just as much as content. Tone, pacing, and emphasis shape how a story lands. Leaders who rush through stories or overload them with details lose impact. Effective storytellers pause, highlight key moments, and allow ideas to settle. This creates space for reflection and understanding. Finally, great storytelling invites action. A strong story does not end with information alone. It connects the message to next steps, decisions, or behaviors. When leaders close with a clear takeaway, the story becomes a catalyst for change rather than entertainment. Storytelling is not a performance skill reserved for charismatic speakers. It is a practical leadership tool that can be learned and refined. Leaders who master storytelling enhance their influence, strengthen persuasion, and communicate with clarity and confidence. In a world full of information, the ability to tell a compelling story is what helps leaders stand out and be remembered.
Welcome back. Time to check for understanding. Answer these questions briefly, either aloud or in writing. First question, why is storytelling often more effective than facts alone when leaders want to influence people? Second question, what role does structure play in a business story? And third, why does authenticity increase a leader's credibility when telling stories? If these answers feel clear after listening to the article, your understanding is strong. If not, reread the article one more time. This is not failure. This is the practice. Step 5, key vocabulary. Look at these useful words from the article. Don't try and memorize them all right now. Do you recognize some of them? Are you able to use them in a sentence? Go back to the article and notice how each one of them are used. We've even highlighted them in the text. These are common words professionals use when discussing communication and leadership, and you can find them and their definitions in the downloadable workbook linked in the description. Now the final step, reflection. Think about your own work. When have you seen a leader use a story effectively? Where in your work could a short story explain something better than data alone? Just write a few sentences. That's enough for today. Storytelling is not just a performance skill. It's a leadership tool. Stories help people understand complex ideas, remember key messages, and connect meaning to decisions. Leaders are rarely remembered for the slideshows they present. They are remembered for the stories people repeat and repeat and repeat later. If you want to continue practicing this guided method, you can download the workbook for this lesson in the description below. Thanks for working through this with me. and I'll see you in the next lesson.